guys, Geronimo here and good morning. Right now I'm in the process of writing out a timeline with my projections of where I could head in the future up until my estimated point of death according to the statistics online. Now I know there's some fundamental flaws with this plan because a plan that is not planned for change is doomed to fail. But I think it's good to take these readings and estimate where I could end up. For the last 2 months, I've been collecting data on my sleeping habits, reading, exercise habits, eating, smoking and drinking habits, and I'm basically going to compile all the data, add it all together and then divide it by the amount of days to give myself an average reading. And then I'm going to calculate what that can do to my present circumstances over a very long period of time using the compound effect. And but more than like a business plan where they have a 5-year goal and their projections of what they're going to do in 5 years, I'm going to do the lifetime goal and more generalistic towards the sort of person that I want to be when I grow up, or like when I'm older than I am now. Looking deeper into the root causes of a specific action that I'm taking, like why am I doing, or why am I working the way I'm working? What do I want to achieve? When I write my timeline, I'm going to do the entire thing in reverse by first getting to grips with understanding what I want to achieve, like both internally and externally, and then I'm going to work backwards and see like in what incremental steps do I need to take to achieve that goal, in such as reading and stuff like that. So here's some examples of my statistical data gathering for the last 2 months on my sleeping habits, my exercising habits, reading habits, etc, etc. And then from there I'm going to average out that data and I'm going to add it into this here. From this point onwards is a timeline where basically I've got from my daily readings, my weekly, monthly, yearly, 5-year and estimated lifespan up until point of death in 5-year increments. I've gone down to it and I've broken it down to the 3 main topics that I want to cover first, because I think they're the most important from reading The Power of Change, which is 3 keystone habits that you need to continue throughout your life for it to flourish, which is a good healthy sleeping pattern, good workout regime, and also reading or learning patterns. And what I'm planning on doing is obviously the 8 hours sleep, going to sleep at 10 o'clock, waking up at 6 every day, to then working out for an hour and then reading for an hour. And I've worked out that to read my goal at 24 books a year, I'm going to have to read, the average book is 100,000 words, and if I was to read 125 words a minute, it would take about 13 hours to complete a book. The average person reads about 200 to 250 words a minute, and I've halved that, considering that the variation in different types of content that I'm going to be reading, I'm going to have to slow down my reading just to get my comprehension to the best it can be. So I've worked out that for these 13 hours basically for each book, for 24 books a year, I've worked out that I would need to read about 1 hour each day to hit my 24 books a year mark. I've doubled it up, so I'm going to do it in 2 segments of hour sessions, so I can see if I can boost my 24 books a year to 48 books a year. And also I've timed it early in the morning, which is a good time to read, and also I looked online for best times of reading and retaining content, and it's between 3 and 6, so 3 o'clock I'll have to do reading. I've left some gaps which I haven't worked out quite such yet, but it's also because of work and stuff like that will get in the way of different plans that I've got for ahead. So then I've broken it down into weeks and how much sleep I'm going to need, etc, etc, and then to the months, to the years, into the years. And I work out that if I read 1 hour a day, by the time that in the next 30 years I'll probably read about 1,000 books. If I double up, then I'll read about 2,000 books. I've gone through here, and this is like different systems that I've been using, so like the bullseye diagram, reverse bullseye diagram, and also another one where you work out why you're doing something rather than what and how you're doing. And this is the reason why, is how I'm going to get my core fundamentals of what I think is important, most important to do. Then there's these blocks where I split a bit of paper in half and I use a double negative to help me think more about what I'm doing. So it could be such as the things that I know, the things that I know that I don't know, the things that I don't know that I know, and the things that I don't know that I don't know. For an example, it could be I know that I need to be healthier. I know that I don't know what a good diet is, so I need to research on that. I don't know that I know what is the right direction. And I don't know if I should trust what I'm reading. So, and I've gone through to other sections where I've gone for good outcomes that lead to good actions that lead to bad outcomes, good actions that lead to good outcomes, and then etc. Bad actions that lead to bad outcomes. So like I can think of smoking is one of them, where I can see like little positives to it, etc., etc. And then this is things that like internal goals and external goals, and what I want to achieve internally and externally. So I'm going to continue this process until I narrow out my search, but there's a lot of information that I need to cover. Considering my current understanding of what I'm doing and what it could lead to, I need to start making two different calculations. One on my target goal and outcomes, predicted outcomes, and then also I need to make a second calculation on planned deviation, because I'm not going to be able to complete this every day. It takes a lot of discipline to do that sort of thing, and if I think that I've got a planned deviation of around 33%, so if I aim to read 1 hour each day of the week, that accumulates to 7 hours. But if I say that 3 of them days I don't read some weeks, then I could estimate that to be around 33% deviation, and I'm going to make calculations on that as well to see what my anticipated goal would be, my turnout. Also, as well with my end timeline, there's things that I need to consider about that, and it's going to spawn on a whole nother line of things where I could estimate from the calculations I've got online, like an estimated time of death for male and female in like the UK or around the world. But with the development of like synthetic organs and stuff like that, there's a high chance that in the next 10 to 15 years that people's lifespans will lengthen dramatically. So there's things just to bear in mind, but I want to make my calculations for this present moment, not taking into consideration developments in technology and the way things can lead, because even the intake, like the methods of intaking information, can change over the next 10 to 20 years. For instance, like Elon Musk, I know he's working on an AI interface that integrates into your mind, so it speeds up the connection between information and your mind, basically. So it sounds pretty cool stuff in the works, but obviously I want to take it into consideration, but I don't want to mathematically calculate it within my plan. But it's cool to know. I hope that anything that I said can help you in some way, shape or form, and if you've got any advice on how I can strategically improve my life, please let me know. And right now I'm just about to go for my 2-mile swim, and I'm going to calculate my time and estimate each lap time so I can get better readings of how long I can swim in, say, a year.